One man is beginning a lifetime prison sentence while the other is thanking all concerned for his freedom after an emotional murder trial. 20-year-old Clifford Gibson Jr. was sentenced yesterday to a life in prison for his part in the death of Leslie Aurelius by Supreme Court Justice Richard Williams. A packed courtroom of family and friends openly wept when the hammer of justice delivered the deafening blow to the young man. While on the other side of the courtroom, jubilation was evident as his co-accused, Tavron Watkins, was declared a free man. In his final sentencing remarks, Justice Williams said that the case was a clear illustration as to how a number of young men in the community are turning to violent armed crimes and involving themselves in meaningless acts of violence. Chief Justice Williams stated, "Clifford Gibson, you have been convicted of the murder caused by a fatal stab wound of a young man, Leslie Aurelius, who had his whole life ahead of him. This murder occurred on the first day of 2008, during the early morning, on an occasion which should have been a joyous celebration to welcome the new year." News 4 understands that primarily because of the testimonies given by eyewitnesses in support of Watkins playing the role of peacemaker, his legal team was able to convince the jury that he was not directly involved in the brutal stabbing. Aurelius was stabbed to death on January 1, 2008 in the downtown area. Justice Williams' statement continued, "Having regard to recent events, we should all be concerned about the presence of knives and weapons in our schools. Consideration should be given to making it an offense for a person to have an article with a blade or offensive weapon on school premises. The maximum sentence of 2 years for having an article and 4 years for having an offensive weapon, as in England and Wales, would serve as an indication of the severity of such an offense. Something needs to be done to battle this growing trend of knife crime, particularly amongst our young men. Mr. Gibson, the sentence I pass upon you is prescribed by law and is one of life imprisonment." Clifford Gibson Jr.'s legal team says they will be appealing the ruling. For WIV4 News, I'm Jody Harvey.